Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to discuss about the class cephalopoda, and we know that the class cephalopoda is the class of phylum mollusca. So we can mention here class cephalopoda. So firstly we try to discuss about what are the actual meaning of this word which is known as cephalopoda. Actually this word is composed of two words. It means the combination of two words. First one is cephalo, and the word cephalo mean head. It means these are head bearing animals. And the second is word poda or a pod, and the word pod or a poda mean foot. It means they have distinct head and foot. So that's why these are more complex and active lifestyle. So due to complexity, we can say that they are complex as compared to all other classes of phylum mollusca. These are more complex as compared to all classes of phylum mollusca. These are not even more complex in the members of the phylum mollusca, but these are also complex from all other invertebrates. So we can mention here they are complex from all other invertebrates in many ways. It means in many ways, in many reasons, these are more complex as compared to all other invertebrates. Even they are more complex from all the members of the phylum mollusca. So now we will take some examples of this class which is actually known as the class cephalopoda, and these are the members of this class which is known as cephalopoda, such as Nautilus. Nautilus is the member of this class which is known as class cephalopoda. And the second example is octopus. Octopus, it means octopus is placed in this class which is known as cephalopoda. And the third third animal or a third example is cuttlefish. Cuttlefish. So these are actually the examples. These are the animals which are placed or which belong to this class which is known as cephalopoda. And another example is known as squids. So 1, 2, 3, 4, these are the common example. These are the common animal actually which belong to this class which is known as cephalopoda. So now we are going to discuss one of these example as a reference animal. We will take this animal which is known as Nautilus to understand how the body structure of these members are present. If we talk about the anterior portion of foot, which is known as head, actually contain the tentacles which are arm-like structures. So like this one, this is actually the animal which is known as Nautilus, and this is the foot region, and foot region contain this portion which is known as head, and this head contain the long arm-like structure, and these arm-like structures are known as tentacles. These are known as tentacles. So what are actually what are the functions performed by these arm-like structure which are known as tentacle. So now I am going to discuss here the function of these tentacle actually which are present at the anterior region of the foot. This one is the anterior region, this one is a foot. So this foot's anterior region contain these arm-like structure, these are known as tentacle. So now I am going to write here the function of tentacles. Function of tentacles. So what are the function of these tentacles? The first function of these tentacle is locomotion. Locomotion. It means these are involved to change the position or move from one place to another place. The second function of these tentacle is defense. It means defensive function. Third function of these is copulation. Third function of these tentacle is copulation. Then they also perform many functions such as predation. And we know that, dear students, predation is the phenomena actually this is performed by the animals which have active lifestyle, not a sluggish lifestyle. So it means that the member of this class cephalopoda are more active as compared to other classes of the phylum mollusca. So that's why they are having active lifestyle. So these are the function actually these are performed by these tentacles. So this portion is actually known as mantle. This is also a mantle. And if we talk about the mantle of this nautilus or this animal is highly muscular. So we can mention here mantle. So we can write here the mantle of this animal is highly muscular, and due to presence of muscles, actually these muscles contract and relax and produce the jet propulsion, because this animal is moved in the water in jet-like motion. So the contraction of these muscles inside the mantle and relaxation of muscle take the water inside and take the water outside. So due to contraction of muscle, these muscles which are present in the mantle actually press and increase the pressure in the water which is present in the mantle cavity. This water will move from this structure which is known as funnel. This structure is known as funnel. And when the water will come out from this portion which is known as funnel with a very great pressure, so the water pressure will be in this direction and the movement of this animal will be in the opposite direction. So students, we have discussed about the mantle. So now we will discuss that this internal portion from here up to here, this is a portion, and this internal portion is known as mantle cavity. And this internal portion which is known as mantle cavity contain all the visceral organs. Visceral organs mean they contain the digestive system, they contain the respiratory system, they contain the excretory system, this portion contain the reproductive system. So all these system and the organ associated with these systems are present in this portion. So that's why this portion is known as mantle cavity, and inside the mantle cavity all the visceral organs are present. So how? Actually this one is a esophagus, and here generally a crop is present. This one is a stomach. These are the glands which are involved in the digestion. And this one is the anus. Here gonads are present. This one is a heart which actually involved to circulation and the circulation of fluid inside the body. These are the kidneys, and here the gonads are present. So all these internal body organs are present in the mantle cavity. So these all organs are known as visceral organs. So now we will discuss about the shell of this animal. So when we talk about the shell, then we have to discuss the different animals actually which belong to class cephalopoda. So some animals belong to this class cephalopoda are the modern and having no shell, some modern but they have shell, but some other organism from this class having internal shell, some have external shell. So we will try to discuss about the shell of this animal. To understand the shell, actually we have to classify the animals to understand better which type of shell is present in all the members of the class cephalopoda. So we will take few examples. The first example is ancestral cephalopods. So when we talk about the shell of the ancestral cephalopod, then we can say that they have a shell but conical in shape. Conical shaped shell was present in the ancestral cephalopods. So this was the first type of shell which was present in the ancestral cephalopods, which was conical in shape. So that's why we can say that the shell in the ancestral cephalopods was probably in conical shape. So the second is the modern cephalopods. Keep in mind, in the modern cephalopod we will take the example of Nautilus. So when we take this example of the Nautilus, this have only one animal of the modern cephalopod have external shell. So this modern cephalopod such as Nautilus has external shell. How the external shell is present? So actually this is the diagram of Nautilus, and we are going to discuss how the external shell is present and how the portion of this shell is present in the Nautilus. So actually from the animal, one thing which is very important to tell you is that animal body portion is from here up to here. All these visceral body organs are present only in this region, but this whole region actually occupies the shell. It means this whole portion is occupied by the shell, and from here up to here this whole portion is mantle cavity, and this mantle cavity contains the internal body organs. So here the structure is present, this one, and this structure is known as siphuncle. I can write here siphuncle. So this siphuncle extends from this animal's body and move around in the coiling of the shell. As the shell coil, it moves and extends each coil in the central portion, like this is a coiling, and this siphuncle is present in the central region. And from this siphuncle, inside and outside, this whole coiling is separated by some structures, and these structures are known as septa. It means these septa are attached from one side with the shell and from other side with the siphuncle. This one is the shell, and these septa are attached with one side with the shell, and other side of this septa is attached with the siphuncle. So dear students, it means that due to presence of this siphuncle and due to presence of these septum, or a septa which are present in the coiling of the shell, they make the compartmentalization. It means more and more compartments are produced as the shell is coiling. But one thing which is very important to tell you is that this one is a first compartment. This one is a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. So as we move from the body to the coiling, then the first compartment which is near to this animal, actually this compartment is attached to the animal. It means the animal whole nautilus is directly attached or directly connected, or it is present in the first compartment. All other compartments are leaving behind. But one thing which is very important to tell you is that when the shell is actually secreting, and the secretion of shell is a continuous process. So continuously the shells or compartments are added behind, but always this animal will be present in the first compartment. Then first will become second. When a new compartment is secreted, then first will become second, and then the first will be secreted newly. So this process is continued and new compartments are produced that will make a more and more big shell in the nautilus. The students, we have discussed in the ancestral as well as modern cephalopods. Now we will discuss in shell in cuttlefish. Shell in cuttlefish. So if we talk about the shell in the cuttlefish, then there is no external shell present in the cuttlefish. For example, we take, suppose this one is a cuttlefish, and here at the central portion, this one is a shell, and this shell is actually internal. This one is an internal shell. So internal shell in the cuttlefish is known as cuttle bone. So actually this cuttle bone or an internal shell of this cuttlefish is very important because it contains the maximum amount of calcium carbonate as well as calcium. So these shell of this internal shell of the cuttle bone is used to make the calcium powder that will be given to the different birds as a calcium supplement. So that's why it have a great importance having this cuttle bone or an internal shell, because it contains the maximum amount of calcium, and the powder which make from this cuttle bone is used to give as a supplement of a calcium to the different birds. Students, we have discussed shell in ancestral cephalopods, shell in the modern cephalopods such as nautilus, and now we will discuss fourth, shell in octopus. When we talk about the octopus actually also a member of this class, shell in octopus. So when we talk about the shell in octopus, then we can say that octopus has no shell. So that's why we can say that shell in octopus is absent. Shell in octopus is absent. So now in the last we will discuss the shell in squids. Shell in squid. Shell and squid. So when we talk about the shell and squid, it also has internal shell. But one thing which is very important to tell you is that if we talk about the shell and the cuttlefish, then this shell contains the maximum amount of calcium. And if we talk about the shell and the squid, it contains the maximum amount of chitin. So we can say that the shell of squid is chitinous. So dear students, in this lecture we have discussed about the introduction of cephalopod as well as shell present in